delay. You came and you paid, surveyed the property you made. Put in an offer you didn't have to say. I got it made for real. It's been like God in here. Bitch got that grace appeal. They stick with annoying what else am I supposed to feel? Won't you come in, put your feet up, how you waiting here? Let me back up while you do you, I won't interfere. Check my feng shui, I can rearrange the chandelier. Get a show ready where you set it
Look,
up.
I ain't too grand to take it with it. The girl talking gotta make them feel. I'm feeling special, I ain't just a vessel. I found your word was my way to heal. Now I'm outside trying to spread the message. The devil dripping, he been causing wreckage. My testimony went from declining to the upper hand, finally gave me leverage. What I felt was a stretch, it led to agility. You were the balance, I needed stability. All the allure, spirit so pure, from Father to Son like the holiest Trinity. Open arms, I receive the blessings. In every lesson, hope to see progression. The more you lead me to community, the more I see a need for intercession. Gotta pray for.
I'll be your temple, I'll be your sanctuary. You can come dwell here. Won't you come and fill me? Jesus, have your way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the F.L.Y Show. And I am yours truly, Jasmine D. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me here every single Wednesday. You know we like to do it live and in full effect so you can catch it. What I said earlier today, we have a lot of resilient, real, and raw people on the F.L.Y Show. We don't do no masks. We don't do no pretending. We don't do no faking, no phoning. We keep it real all the way 100. And tonight's guest is none other. Well, before I get into that, because listen, if you've been following me, if you follow me, shout out to everybody that's been watching my page, that is tuning in with me here. Again, welcome back to the F.L.Y Show, where the F.L.Y stands for First Love You. I am excited about tonight's interview because this has been, I've been wanting to sit down and talk to this lady since the day I met her. Okay, let me just start there. Because I've never met somebody that is straight, real, and gutter with love, of course. Okay, let me put that out there. She loves you, but she is the type of person that wants to see you at your fullest potential. She wants to see you diving into your purpose. And I see y'all tuning in on tonight. Make sure you let me know where you're watching from. Make sure you like, tag, and share. Get some people on this live because y'all are feeling this live up on tonight. So I know it's about to be on. So looking at these numbers, let me go ahead and get into who I'm going to be talking to tonight. I am talking to none other than the dynamic queen herself, Miss Monica G. She is a native of the great state of VA, and she is a product of the Petersburg public school systems. She has a few businesses, but most importantly, she is a mother of two beautiful children, y'all. She got a one boy and a one girl, and that was it. Okay, it wasn't no extras. They had plate, they had a friend. You help your brother, you help your sister, and amen, hallelujah. But she is also an entrepreneur. Since in her early 20s, she has been in daycare, did parties, red carpet events. Her passion is helping people and creating something out of nothing. She is the co-founder of Behind Closed Doors, a women's ministry established in the year 2006. And she is also the producer of a radio show named Behind Closed Doors Uncut. You can check her out on YouTube, named Sweet Tea with G. This platform allows her to speak on any topic with open dialogue. She is always keeping it 100. Okay. Her belief in God is unwavering because we all know he deserves all honor and the praise. So it is my pleasure, it is my honor to present to you and introduce to many Miss Monica G. Man, Monica G. Monica G.
What's happening, Jazz?
Monica G. Listen. Good evening. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you. And I promise I'm going to be on my best behavior. But I'm still going to give it to you the G style, baby. I don't even know no other way.
And I don't want no other way. I want it all the way 100. Keep it a buck. And what the healthy young children be saying, give it to
Hmm,
me real. All right. So
absolutely.
let's get into it because we already 10 minutes into this show. So let's get into it, right? How do you define who Monica G is?
First and foremost, I am a child of God. Um, I define Monica G as resilient, trustworthy,
Mm,
loyal, straight, no chase.
listen, don't be coming in here with these forceful, powerful answers, short and cute and sweet and hard. Okay. So let me get into your story a little bit because
Okay.
everyone sees G. Everybody knows Monica in the
Mhm.
professional world, in the corporate world. Everyone knows you here. Tell us about Monica G in Petersburg, Virginia. Start us from the beginning.
Start there.
Oh yes.
So I am um a daughter first and foremost and a sister. I have three older brothers, right? And
Okay.
I still say three older brothers, even though my oldest brother is deceased.
Mhm.
His spirit still is with me. Um, Little girl, the last of the Mohicans. There is 8 years between me and my youngest brother, right? So my oldest brother was 15 years older than me. That was my brother Jimmy. We shared the same birthday, December 1st, Sagittarius baby.
Oh, that's
My middle
special.
brother Wayne G.
Okay.
It's 14 years difference between him and I. And my
Mhm.
brother Brock G, it is 8 years difference between him and I. And at that point in time, my mom and dad had stopped, right? And my mom told my dad, I guess one night in the heat of passion, she said, my life would not be complete without a
If I
girl.
ain't got my girl.
We didn't try this thing 3 times. And I think, three strikes you're out. And she said, no, one more time. And so then came me 8 years later. Um, my mom was a beautician for 40 years.
Okay.
So one thing about me is that with my mom, one of the things that she taught me was this. Um, you can have on $1,000 dress, and if your hair not done, you look like $5.
Talk about
You
it.
can have on a $3 t-shirt, and if your hair done, you look like $1,000. So when people talk to me about my hair, it's
Mhm.
just paying homage to my mother. Like
Mhm.
she didn't step across that door sill unless that head was right, right? And so that is something that is embedded in me. Um, Having and looking together, right?
Right.
Got that early on. Looking like you're supposed to look. Now, inside, I had to do some other work, and we'll talk about that as I got grown. But I
Mhm.
will say, at 21 years old, so when you asked who is Monica, and I said I'm resilient, I'm loyal, I didn't get this way by chance.
Right.
Um, I had some early teachings, and that was because at the age of 21, I lost my mom and my
Mhm.
father,
Wow.
who were childhood sweethearts, who were married at that time almost 40 years.
Mhm.
And I lost them in the same year. My mom died in May, and my dad died in September. Most
Wow.
people would say of a broken heart, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so at that point in time, the reason why I have to be straight with no chaser is because my mama gave me life lessons, and I didn't understand at 16 why I was having this conversation.
Mhm.
But at 28, I realized that God had a plan, that I had to get it and get it quick, right? I didn't have time to just keep licking off the sugar. It was like, girl, look, let me tell you how this thing gonna roll out, and I need you to understand where we going from there. Don't let the glitz and glamour fool you. Yes, I've always been a woman, but I love boyish things. I do. I was raised with 3 brothers and my father. So on the weekends, if I was not at a basketball court, a baseball diamond, a football field, or a fishing pond, it won't happen. It's just that, right? So yeah, I fish, I hunt, I do all of that. I know about almost everything. I can change my oil, I can change my tire, I can climb a tree with the best of them, baby. But if you want me prim and proper, I'm gonna do that too. So my growing up, my years of being the only girl, and the way that my family loved family, like the way that my mom loved her sisters and brothers, and having those family gatherings, really gave a structure to my life. So I have been out here, and I have been grown for a long time. Since 21 years old. So when I say straight no chaser, it's because of traumatic things that has happened in my life that I don't have time to waste. And I want you to get there, and I want you to get there. And I don't want you to die on my watch, because I didn't give it to you without you trying to figure out the contact clues, right? I need to give it to you so I know you got it. And then you can decide whether you want to keep it or not.
Right. That part. You know what? That is so strong to even say, because even in today's time, a lot of people, they want to go around the bush, but they want to go around the bush the quick way. I feel like instead of you going around the whole world in the merry-go bush and being around the world and say what you have to say, so people know that when I talk, I mean what I say. I can depend on your word. I can trust what you're saying to me, because I know that you're being honest, and I know that you're giving it to me 100% real and raw. And I don't have to second guess if you sugarcoat me and giving it to me sweet baby caking. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
For you, what has been your driving force to keep going just throughout life?
Oh my goodness. So, got married really young, right? So there was a disappointment. So just go with me if you will. I'm gonna keep it 100 and let you know the real deal. So in high school, I, was with a guy that we had some stalker, some stalking going on when it was time to let the relationship go, right? And so with that, very, very close rings my family had on me. But long story short, because we ain't got 30 years to relive all of this, but I got married young and I had a baby young. And at that point in time, 19, 20 years old, being my mom and dad's pride and joy, and my brother's pride and joy, you almost feel like, dang, I've let them down, right? And so, you hear the whispers. She ain't gonna never be nothing. She a teenage mama. She out here doing the thing. Her mama and daddy thought she was everything. Her brothers think she's, a princess. And look at here. Look what has happened.
Right.
So my driving force was to prove everybody wrong. That I was going to make it. Whether I had to strap everybody on my back and we was going in the end zone, baby, and make this touchdown, this field goal, and win the Super Bowl. I wanted to wear the ring, right? I did not want to be a disappointment, even though there was at that point in time what was considered a mistake. That my daughter is the saving grace to me. God knew exactly what I needed, because it wasn't 2 years after my daughter was born that my mom closed her eyes.
Right.
I needed something bigger than me to live for.
Yeah.
When I tell you my mom and I was everything, like that was my ace boom. We did everything together. So at her death at 52, I was devastated. Like life for me was over. And then to know that my dad too, wait a minute.
Right.
You taking my daddy too?
Mm-hmm.
My mom's last 2 requests from me was to take care of your father. He doesn't have long. And to take care of that baby. And I knew what she meant.
Right.
She meant by any means necessary, you give her the best of the best. You don't do anything less for her than I've done for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on her deathbed. So the driving force for me was that I made it to the heights that I thought I was reaching. The caveat was, and the surprise is that God had a bigger plan in place, baby. And so it took me from having my own business when I was 21 years old and revamping this childcare business that my mom had, and making a 24-hour childcare business in the city of Petersburg, in the state of Virginia, the first one. And I did that for 14 years. And I realized it really was not about the money. It was about pouring into these other individuals. And they were a part of my extended family. Their mother and father was family to me. And so that actually started a whole gamut of opportunities being open. That's when the creativity started for me, of planning birthday parties and fashion shows and them speaking for Easter and different things. Them not knowing that I'm really imparting in you trying to memorize this Easter speech is so that I'm really building up a confidence in you and your 7-year-old self, right? That you're able to stand up and you're able to speak and not be shy, and opening up and looking at that, hey, everybody that attended my daycare had to be on the honor roll. Right? We made sure homework was done when parents came to pick up kids. Homework was done already in the notebook, already prepared for the book bag to be taken to school the next day, so that when that mother got home, she was able to actually spend some time with her children.
Oh, wow.
Right? Not try to figure out, did you do your homework? Oh, we got homework covered. We done checked it and made sure the older kids were mentors for the younger kids, right? And so that time of imparting into those kids really did something for me as well. And it just opened up other doors.
Yeah. That is just listening to the latter part about, you assisting and allowing the older kids that were in your facility, in your daycare, to help the younger ones. That was teaching them to be helpers one to another. If I see someone that's in need, if I have knowledge, I can pass my knowledge down. I can give them the same confidence that Miss G is giving to me, and so on and so forth. So it's like you're building a community of leaders, a community of men and women, even now as today, because I'm pretty sure some of them are grown,
They are grown.
Yeah.
They are grown and they are doing the damn thing, girl. When I see, And I keep in contact. They have sought me out on social media when I
Yeah.
see who they are, what they've become, what
Mhm.
they're doing. They got kids, right?
Yes.
And it is amazing. I have
Yeah.
attended so many different graduations. Um, it is different things that I think about. I was talking to um my man the other day. I can say that because I'm grown. But I was talking to him the other day and I was telling him, during the summertime, we would have so many ages of kids, right?
Right.
Because in my childcare, like the school kids went to school and we took them to school, we picked them up in the evening, right? So I didn't have to have a curriculum for everybody.
Right.
But during the summertime, I had ages 12 to 2. So
Mhm.
how are we going to work this out, right? And
Mhm.
so we would do simple things like taking the kids to the grocery store. Older kids that were in third grade, I need you to weigh out 3 pounds of tomatoes. The kids that are 3, I need you to pick up everything in the produce that's red, right? And put
Mhm.
it in this basket. So
Wow.
therefore, everybody is the community.
Right.
Everybody is helping everybody, but
Right.
everybody is
Is
learning at
learning.
the level in which they're able to learn.
Listen, you know how some people won't even think on that level, and it's so simple that
Mhm.
anybody can get it. Okay, I have a 4-year-old. Listen, when I tell you, you just helped my whole little life.
Baby, we can talk. I know the tricks and trades on potty training. All
Yeah.
of the yes, all of it. Even anxiety for kids,
Mhm.
starting their first day
Right.
of school and how that can be a big thing, right?
Right.
And so it's a learning process.
Mhm.
I will say to anybody that have kids, stop leaving your kids at home. Take them out, get them acclimated to life,
Mhm.
and you will see a difference. You're not going to have to start saying, when you go in here, don't touch this. They already know, not touching that.
Right.
I know where I am. Take
Mhm.
them to church. When my kids went to church, it won't no children's church. The children's church was sitting right here beside me with a sucker. And you better not say nothing until it's over. And you could tell that they already knew when it was almost time for church to be over because of the hooping that the preacher would be doing. It get real loud. And they at that point they like, yeah,
They
we're
love it.
home stretch, but we was in here, right? And
Right.
so we really do need, they are little humans. They are not
Mhm.
different from us. They don't want
Right.
to be excluded. They
Mhm.
want to be included just like you did. And
Absolutely.
and a way to get them to learn is to include them and set boundaries. But we don't even do that with our grown people. So, we can talk about that second half, girl. Because we just in Petersburg. We ain't even left out of Petersburg.
We didn't even got the GA yet, man. Okay.
Yes.
Now we finna get down here, okay? Because of course you in Georgia now, so that
I
means it's
am.
traveling in having the daycare, losing your mom and your dad same year, having a daughter, and I'm pretty sure by now during that transition, your son has come along now as well.
Son came along 5 years later, girl.
Right now,
5 years later.
what was the transition from VA to GA?
So if you know Petersburg, Virginia,
Mhm.
um, most people who have never lived there, and if you looked it up, you would see something in regard to, Robert E. Lee and the battlefield that was fought, and it's a lot of history.
Right.
But in 1990, it was really in a transition, right? At that point in time, drugs had really kind of infested. School system was going down. I
Right.
already knew that God had given me some brilliant children.
Right.
When I gave birth to my son as well as my daughter, um, I could just feel this pulling on me to say, hey, you got something special. You just can't treat it like it's ordinary, right? Or you will be punished, right? And so that's another thing about being obedient to God's word. But we had to leave because at that point in time, the schools had become unaccredited. And it was just really time to go. Now, at that point in time, thought that I would probably move up the road, maybe 45 minutes up, maybe Richmond, Chesterfield area. But God had something in plan that was bigger and greater. And I had actually went into the corporate world, made a deal with, at that time, you know, my ex-husband. Hey, when it's time for our son to go to school, it would be time for me to actually kind of go into another line of business. One of the reasons is because, as you can see, I am passionate about those children, right? And I was passionate. I wasn't off, you know, hey, if you got to work on Saturday or Sunday and you can't find nobody, just bring them on over, right? Bring them to the house, right? And so it got to be a problem within our relationship. So for the greater good, and again, God fearing, hey, let's see, go ahead in the corporate world. I was offered a position to go to Kennesaw, Georgia. Didn't know where that was, but hey, I prayed and asked God, give me an answer about moving. And a month later, it don't take God long to do nothing. So I just want to let people know, don't ask him for stuff that you really ain't serious about moving on. That's a lot of times why we stay stuck. We stay stuck because you ask God, but you really don't want it, or you want it on your time, or how it's supposed to come. God is not a do boy. He ain't no short order cook, baby. Let me tell you, if you ask him for it and you really want it, he will give it to you. You need to move on it. Move on. I don't care how it looks. People would say, you moving to Georgia and you don't know nobody? No. At that time, it wasn't no GPS. I printed them
MapQuest.
Baby, tell me about it. Print MapQuest out where you had to take the left, and 3 miles up the road, you took a right and drive this for 180 miles. I'm telling you, MapQuest it. I moved at the time where people had cell phones, but not like they do now. I had to call back to family, the little phone cards where you got so many minutes on it. It's $20. You get 3 good sharp minutes. You better talk all you want for that's when you had to pay for long distance. I know I don't look like I ain't but 17, but my butt is old, girl. Let me tell you. I remember when you had MCI and AT&T long distance and say, calling, do you accept a call from, baby? So that was during that time that we moved. Didn't know anybody, found Walmart, but let me tell you, I will tell every listener right here today, listen to me. Listen. If you have a job where you clocking in, now I know that certain businesses has to do with clientele. I was in a clientele business for 14 years, right? My mom was a beautician. She was in a clientele business for 40. But if you are clocking in anywhere where you are filling out a time card or punching a time clock, that is universal. 40 hours can be done anywhere. Don't let nobody tell you you cannot move or go to another state. You can go to another. That is, look, paycheck to paycheck, direct deposit to direct deposit is universal. You can do that anywhere, baby. Don't think you just got to be tied into one spot. If you ain't moving, that's because you don't want to move. Point blank, period. I asked God for it. I was able to punch in, and the same direct deposit went in after the 2 weeks. Let's make this thing happen. And that's how I got into Georgia.
And that's a fact, Jack. Listen, that's a fact, Jack. Because
Yes.
so many, you got good talk, Monica G. Because there's so many people still sit here drifting in quicksand and playing in la la land, thinking they got all the time in the world, and you so distracted, you ain't listening, you ain't paying attention. You supposed to do X, Y, and Z by now, and you ain't
People
even started on A yet.
people do what they want to do. The
That's
same way you scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, the same way you clicking in your cart on Amazon. Get that resume together, submit it in another state if you looking to move, and move. Walmart everywhere. Stop it. Stop it. God will open up a door. And the other thing that you don't know is that people would rather have you come from out of town to work for them because number one, they are looking for somebody that's going to hold down that job, not skip from here to there to there. If they give you a chance, they feel that you have a loyalty to them because they have a loyalty to you. They will write a letter to the leasing office saying, hey, she ain't got no check yet, but we just hired her. We are recommending that you give her an apartment. I'm telling you, God will open up doors that man cannot do, but you got to see yourself moving forward. So that's why I don't have a whole lot of tears and pity. You told me I couldn't cuss on here. So if I'm slowing down with my words, that's because I was going to interject something. And I know I'm trying to keep it PG. So bear with me, people. Just bear with me. But that's because you don't want to go nowhere.
right.
You find you some people like playing the victim. And some people like getting the victim.
Listen, okay. So what shifted after, like, even after you lost your parents, after you moved, what happened in your life that made you realize that your purpose was deeper than what you thought it was?
2000. So I moved in 2003. 2006. At this point in time, my daughter is a teenager. My son is probably 5th grade, 4th grade. And I had gotten a promotion and I met this young lady that's baby sister. Her name is Alexandria. We call her Alex. We work together. And it was something real feisty about this Newark, New Jersey. I say little girl because she little, she ain't but like 5 feet tall, right? But she had this style that went like she was a giant when it came to how she presented herself and who she was, right? And so come to find out after us talking, we were buying houses really close to each other, not even like 2 miles from each other, right?
Wow.
We're getting brand new houses built. And so we started to carpool. When I tell you God knew exactly what he was doing in that carpool, because I'm going to share something with you all. And some ladies may get this, some men who are watching, y'all may not. But with women, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Jazz, we can't tell the whole story to everybody.
Right.
We have certain friends that I can tell this part of the story to.
Right.
And I got certain friends that I can tell this part of the story to. Because if I tell the whole story, the next time, it could be me and my man having problems. This ninja then cheated, and I'm taking them back again, right? Now, I'm only going to tell you, Jazz, we're having problems. What's going on, girl? You know, we're just not getting along. Now, I might be able to tell Angela,
Mm-hmm.
girl, he cheated.
Right.
And she may say, girl, don't go back.
Right.
Right. But with Alex, I could tell the whole story. The whole story. And I wasn't judged. I wasn't condemned. I didn't feel stupid. I didn't feel like, girl, you was too old to be going through this, whatever it is, right?
Right.
I was able to tell the whole story about everything, even my shortcomings at the job, right? How I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was overlooked for this position.
Right.
And it wasn't a jealousy, it wasn't anything. It was that she gave me, we talked and we loved on each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I was now able to understand that I am able to tell the whole story to
Mm.
somebody and feel comfortable in who I am. The next day, you ain't side-eyeing and I ain't heard it again from somebody else. And
Right.
girl, your business all in the street. So I said I needed to let her know. Let me let you know. Because she had confided in me with some things as well. And I was hoping that I was that same person that she could tell the whole story to.
Right.
And me saying that to her, she said, G, I feel the same way. And we
Mm.
were wondering how many other women it was out there that wanted to tell the whole damn story and couldn't. And what we were going to do was in 2006, right before the new year, was going to have a group of ladies that we invited over to my house because I promised God, if you give me this house that I can't afford, because you know, child dream on a different level, I'm telling you. If you give me this house that I can't afford, I promise I'll do ministry in it.
Right.
And so we invited women over. It probably was about 40 women. We didn't call it a Bible study. We didn't call it, it was like, hey, it's a girls' night out, come on in, or what have you. Long story short, women came. We played a game called Stand in My Shoes. You had to write 3 things on a card that you loved about yourself and 3 things that you didn't like. It took the women a long time to write down 3 things that they loved about themselves. And
Wow.
some women were real superficial about the things that they didn't like. Well, I don't like my skin color, girl, my thighs too fat, my breasts too small. But some people really went deep.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, being honest, went deeper than I did. And it was our event.
Mm.
But what we uncovered, you had to take a card out and you had to relate to what the woman wrote on the card. And one of the ladies wrote, it was going real good. We was about 7 in. People could relate. Yeah, girl, my thighs been big since I was 10. And yeah, I had always been a husky and whoop, whoop, whoop. So yeah, you know how we do.
That's
But
real
this
cute.
other
That's
lady
real
picked up
cute.
this other lady picked up this card and she said, well, I can't relate to anything on the card. And so, you know, me, I'm side-eyeing Alex. Her temperament is different than mine. You know,
Right.
she's trying to get, at that point in time, we didn't say give people grace. We was like, you know, give them a chance. And I'm look like, wrap it up. But she said, no, wait. You mean to tell me you can't relate to anything that's on the card? And the lady said, the first thing on the card is stretch marks. And I can't relate to that. And I'm looking face toe up. I don't know why you can't, because I got some and I don't like mine.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, the lady started to weep and she said, stretch marks is a sign of giving birth. And I'm not able to do that.
Wow.
I'm a bearing woman. I've been trying to have a baby for over 12 years. What I wouldn't give
To have
for a
a stretch
stretch
mark.
mark,
Woo.
right?
Mm.
It was at that moment that I knew God had called me for something different. Oh, you thought this was going to be one of your little gatherings that you do. You love to entertain. Girl, you didn't open up a whole different realm. You said that you were going to do ministry. I'm going to show you the ministry that you're going to do. So my ministry is not in the pulpit, and people who know me know that I'm a cussing Christian. God made me like this. If you don't like it, talk to him. And there's a lot of cussing Christians out there you wouldn't believe.
You wouldn't believe it.
But
And
in regard,
they on their way to heaven. Listen.
absolutely, because it's the heart, right? And
Yeah.
so the thing about it was, at that moment, we realized that our meeting wasn't by chance. Us buying houses at the same time and carpooling at the same time was not by chance. It was so that we would be able, because it wasn't called anything. We didn't know what to call it until after we started getting emails. Because remember, during that time, a lot of people won't text message it.
Right.
You know, you had to press the number several times to get a text to go through. I'm talking about, baby, we talk about the Nokia phone.
Listen.
Come on now. We ain't talking about where it had a full keyboard where it had all the letters. But they were like, oh, my aunt would need this, or my daughter needs this, or this would be great for, you know, a friend of mine. And so we said, what would we call it?
Right.
And we came up with Behind Closed Doors, because it's only sometimes with women we're able to be our authentic selves without the game face on, without the makeup and the lipstick, and acting like we the bad bitch out here, whoop, 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 behind closed doors. And what I realized, even in my own house, sometimes even behind closed doors, you can. Sometimes you just want to cry. I don't even know why I'm crying. I just need to. But you know, you cry. My son be like, "What's wrong, mama? What happened?" And I really can't even put it into words. What you know, sometimes I don't know about the people who's watching, but have you ever been in a place where somebody says, "What's wrong?" And the only thing that I could think of is, "Well, what's right?" Because it seems like it's so many things wrong, right? So if you could just tell me one or two things that's right, then maybe I'll feel better. But if I go through all that's wrong, it's going to get darker and dimmer. So sometimes ask the question, what's right? And somebody might say, you woke up this morning, or I had you on my mind. Or, you know, last week when you text me, just checking on you made a difference. So sometimes when people say, what's wrong? Say, ask me what's right. And just give me one or two things to tell me what's right, so I can have a reason to keep pushing.
Ma'am. Well, I can't wait for this to end so you can look at these comments in here, because baby, they are going in. Okay, they are going in.
What they saying? Because you know I can't see it. So what we got?
You got somebody that said that she ready for the next behind closed doors. She said, "Come on, I'm ready." You got you know Sparkle on here, Empress on here, my sister in law, she on here, Kitty, Miss Patterson. A lot of people are, you know, just pouring in love and listening to your story, and just you give so much of yourself. And with that being said, with going through all of that, starting behind closed doors, how easy or challenging has it been for you to maintain your identity?
It can be challenging, but not overwhelming.
Yeah.
I believe when God gives you the tools for things, he equips you with what you need, right? So sometimes the challenge is knowing you can't help everybody. Sometimes the challenge is, did I say something?
Talk about it.
Right?
Talk about it.
You know, people say the old saying, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it, right? the thing about it is what I have found to be tiresome.
Right.
The things that I found to be overbearing for me is to see greatness in somebody and they don't see it in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That part breaks my heart. That's the breaking down part for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want you to get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to make you see it,
Right.
right? And so those are the things that's more challenging than anything else. I counsel people because they ask me to counsel them, not because I say, you know, it's some cute little sayings out here now, like I'm a coach and, I'm a counselor and, I'm a therapist. And I'm none of those things.
Right.
I'm a woman living life just like you. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
I will say is that I'm a push partner. I'm going to push you into your greatness. And while I'm pushing you, the only payment I expect is for you to push me and that I can see that you are living your best life
Mm-hmm.
from our connection.
Right.
When you renege on that deal, it's like writing me a bad check. That's it.
You see how your face just turned right there?
Uh-huh. I was real. That's like writing me a bad check. When that thing say insufficient funds, I already know it's in you. I done already poured it into you. I done spoke it into you. I have prayed endlessly before we've even connected. Before I connect with anybody, I say, hold on, because I don't want to speak out of turn. Anybody who know me says, hold on. If she said, I don't want to speak out of turn and I get with you a couple of days later, that means I done prayed on it. And if I don't come back and say, hey, let's do it, or this is the way you should go, then God said, they ain't ready. Because some people ask for help really don't need help. They just want to talk. Life is too short to keep talking. Time is ticking. When we are born, one thing for sure that's going to happen.
You got to go.
You got to go. There's an
go.
expiration date. And what you do in your dash is all you got.
Right.
Some people's may be 25 years. Some people's may be 58 years. Some people may be 98 years. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is we don't know. Mm-hmm. So when we don't know, I feel like I have to live in an urgency. It's trauma for me because I watched my mom and dad die at 52 and 54. So I don't have that thing of this longevity of waiting until I retire to buy the house and the car I want. Did they say yes? Did God say I could get this? I'm getting it today. I'm going to drive it today off the lot. I'm going to live in it today. I'm going to do it today. I can remember one of my family members said that this is my first house. This is not a starter home. Yeah, well, it's mine. It's the house that I'm starting in. Don't let nobody tell you a starter home got to be 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. If your starter home, you want it to be 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, then start right there, damn it. This what we starting.
Listen. Listen.
Everybody's first car ain't got to be a hoopty, but if it is, it's okay. Point A to point B. Mm-hmm. But don't let people determine where you are supposed to be. God already has set precedents. Oh, this is what you're going to have. It's up to you to believe it.
Come on, ma'am.
I don't believe God for little stuff. That don't turn him on. Stuff that I could buy myself. Lord, I just want you to pay my light bill. Are we praying to God for light bills? Child, no. I am paying that I have enough that I'm able to pay your light bill, Jasmine, if you need me to pay it. And somebody else's light bill.
You is not going to make me fall out this chair, okay? Man.
Lord, I just need you to pay my rent. Rent? Lord, I need you to make it enough that I'm able to pay my mortgage off or to get this mortgage. Let him show you what he can do. Miracle signs and wonders. This ain't no little paycheck to paycheck job, God. This is a God of miracles. He's healing people, and all you want is the water bill paid. Girl, please. Don't go to God with that. People is trying to get healed from cancer, and you talking about your phone bill. Stop. Stop it. Mm-mm.
We're gonna take a pause for the calls real quick. To anybody that ain't, secure in yourself, confident in your life, offended, I'm gonna tell you right now, she not gonna apologize for what she said. When I said resilient, real, and raw, this is exactly who we getting. And they asking for a part two, Monica G. Angela said we need a part two. Listen, we need to come back next week because it goes a whole lot deeper than this. And we on 52 minutes. You hear me? And
we on 52 minutes?
We on 52 minutes. And
oh my goodness.
Somebody edges and flew out the window. Okay. The edge is gone, their eyelashes gone, and their eyebrow pencil then got rubbed off. Okay. Listen, baby, they butt naked right here messing with you.
That's what I'm saying. Get buck naked. Let's get real. Let's talk about your brand. Let's talk about your man. Let's talk about next steps. Let's talk about wanting the title as wife, but not the responsibility as wife. But I don't know if you want to go that deep. You told me I should have just came in here with my little sparkle on, and because that's sparkle for you. And I also, because I don't leave home without it. And also, I'm just gonna say, y'all need to come to one of our conference, A Toast to Her, where we talk about the things that we have overcome. But I would love to come back, Jazz. You let me know when you're free.
Listen, I'm here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you all want a round 2 with Miss Monica G, make sure y'all drop it in the comments. I already got one request from Angela. If you all want round 2, because we can go a whole lot deeper, because y'all know Monica G, she is well versed in so many areas, and we can't just say, like you said, I ain't no coach, I ain't no therapist, I ain't no counselor. We got round 2, run it back, let's go, round 2, I do. All right. And for it. When she come back, now y'all better be ready, because it's gonna be soon and very soon. All right. So don't miss it. But okay, so we coming up on the hour, so we got about 5-10 more minutes. All right.
Okay.
What does maintaining life and business look like for you? What is your balance?
The thing that I had to find out though was, what's the end goal, right? The end goal for me was to have my family be in a place that I felt that I did the best that I could do. Right. If your end goal is your business, I'm not telling you what to pick your end goal, because at different times in life, you're able to, pivot. So find out at this point in time where we saying, hey, short end within the next 2 years, 5 years. The thing about it is, I always did a scorecard, just like a report card. Mm-hmm. Put down 5 things: family, entrepreneurship, relationship with God, relationship with family, relationship with spouse. And grade yourself. Give yourself a progress report. Now, maybe you are the only one that's grading it, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we are harder on ourselves than we think we are.
Right.
I also would say go ahead and ask the people who have something to do with those 5 areas. If it's your mate, your significant other, ask them, what are some things that I need to improve on? And be real with me.
Right.
Now it took me a while to be able to take some criticism, right? Because sometimes we think we just be doing the bomb job, and they be like, yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you be like, hold on there, you got a whole list. But
And do.
if they don't tell you and you don't ask, and then you find out that they ain't there, don't be surprised that the girl at QT smiling at your boo, and because she giving them more compliments than you are. If he's
Listen.
saying, hey baby, I need a little bit more time, you may need to pull back. It's nothing worse than getting a promotion, your business excelling, you are doing what you wanted to do, and nobody is cheering for you
Mm,
because you have left them all behind because you was just so radio focused on one thing. The
right.
reason why we go hard in the paint is because we want to be able to sprinkle some of this paint dust on the people that surround us. But they need to be surrounded. We need to be surrounded. That's the part of the team.
Right.
So therefore, I had to look at the end goal. Success is nothing in business if my family, my children aren't happy and well,
Listen.
right?
Yep.
Success in a marriage, and the only person that's happy is the husband, and the kids suffering, you still feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Being, promoted on a job, getting 12 degrees and not being hired, or nobody there when you receive the degree, where's the success in that?
Mm,
I would rather get a strong B or C than get an A by myself and get a strong B or C and said, hey, I did the best I could and I held it together.
right.
Do some progress reports. Write down 5 things that are important to you and look to see where you grading. We
Yeah.
be putting our kids on punishment when them progress reports don't look right. You need to be on punishment. You know you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You asking God for stuff, and the only time you talk to him is when you
When
need
you're
something.
struggling.
Girl, please. He like, child, get at the back of the line. But he still be giving us grace and mercy. But can you imagine? He already told you he was a jealous God. He's saying, babe, I need you to spend some time with me. I ain't gonna bring that husband to you because the only time you talk to me is when you ain't got no man. When you got one, I ain't heard from you. So that's why the right one, I got them waiting for you. But I need to know when I send them to you, you still gonna have a relationship with me because I'm your daddy. I made them for you. We probably out of time now. I'm sorry.
Listen, we gonna slap a heat pin right there. Make sure, look, as Tab say, y'all hold your mule because we gonna run it back for part two. And what I want to say is when it comes to that self grade, my dad teaches me that all the time. And he says when you're grading yourself, sometimes people thinking, okay, well, I'm okay right here. Don't be afraid to give yourself an F. If you fail, you fail, you know, because when you understand that you fail, you accept that you fail, you learn what you failed in, and you know not to make the same mistakes again, so it helps you gain the wisdom from your mistakes and from your errors so that you won't keep carrying that when you 50 years old and you 60 and you still singing shoulda coulda woulda crying oh woe was me. You see what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
learn from your F's, learn from your failures, and apply what you learn and be better and be greater and live out loud and live on purpose. And just know that there is nothing in life that you have to do by yourself because God sent you here. So you can go to Him at all times and say, God, lead me, show me what I need to do, talk
Absolutely.
to me, you know. And that man, listen, okay, I'm through. You know what? This is 9:05. We at an hour and some change.
I have totally enjoyed this. Thank you. I hope everybody have enjoyed themselves, that I was able to drop some nuggets, that y'all know a little bit more about me, how I got to be this way. You know, if I offended you, I'm sorry. It's done out of love. I'm just talking about life experience. This might not be for you. It's just for me.
And I ain't even got to close out my show. Yes, I do. But thank you all from the bottom of my heart, Miss Monica. You know, you have a special, when I tell you, a special place in my heart. You hear me? We don't talk every day. We don't communicate every day, but you are it for me. Okay. So thank you for just agreeing to be on the show with me, going through, this time, just sitting down, talking, sharing some of your story, giving us your tips and your wisdom and your knowledge and your realness and your rawness, and just being relatable, for not only myself, but for the listeners, everyone that tune in. Thank you all so much for tuning in here on the Fly Show. Where the Fly stands for First Love You. Make sure you follow me for part 2 with Miss Monica G, because we ain't done. We gonna bring it back again. It won't be next week, but make sure you stick around to see when we're gonna be going live with Miss Monica G again. You all enjoy the rest of your evening. I look forward to seeing you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
I'll be your temple.